Welcome, everyone. This week, we're going to talk about reset. It's just such an important word. And when things didn't go the way you planned, think 2020, resetting, it's just great. It's sort of like at the bowling alley.
Yep.
And it's like, ooh, that was really a bad bowl. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be the theme of our week. But you have someone who posted your book on
I
10
did. They
different sites.
tagged 10 people. So if there's anyone else who tagged 10 people and I didn't see it for some reason, make sure you direct message me, private message me, because we only saw one and it's possible that you're sending it to some other site that I didn't see. But Jessica McCurdy, we thank you so much. You tagged 10 people. We are sending you a signed copy. And so that was really cool. The problem is we've got a whole bunch of different sites that people send stuff to. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah.
Awesome. And we have a Brain Warrior winner who sent us just a wonderful testimonial that I'm going to read. And it's from Rebecca_Lynn3. Thank you, Dr. Amen and Tana. 10 years ago, I was prescribed an SSRI and told doctors that it was making me worse to then have the dose increased. Repeat that process 5 times.
Yes.
Obviously, a defeating process. I knew it wasn't right and looked for books to be an advocate for myself. Dr. Amen's book saved my life by destigmatizing depression and focusing on brain health. I couldn't afford a stand, but bought every book, which helped me get a college degree after dropping out. Tana, your stories give people who have had trauma permission to turn pain into passion. Your strength of character is inspiring and provides hope to heal childhood trauma. My sister and I are so excited for your book to be released and learn so much from both of you on the podcast. Thank you for the work that you do, but more importantly, daring to be different.
That almost made me cry.
Well, I love that.
That sounded like my life. They kept increasing the dose and almost ruined my life.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. It's like, well, this isn't working, so let's just give you more.
Well, if you only have one hammer,
right? You just keep hammering
that's what you
just hammer harder
to use.
But it's so demoralizing because it makes you feel like you're defective. It makes you feel like you're the one that is the problem. And that's just it's such an awful feeling.
Well, and the theme for the week is reset. We're trying to reset how psychiatric medicine is practiced by giving you a different way.
That is something that I wish I had. I wish I had someone coaching me and giving me that information that you could just reset and start over when I was a kid, when I was an adolescent, when I was in my 20s. We have that as a rule in our house with the kids. It's like, if we're having a bad day, if we get in an argument, if one of the kids like sort of loses it, we have a tiff. It's like, we have this saying, it's like, let's do a do-over. Let's have a do-over. It's like, we just do a do-over. We don't sit there and we don't need to keep going on and on and on and hammering the other person with it. It's like, let's have a do-over. Do we want to have a good day or we don't want to have a good day? And I'll actually ask that question. You want to have a good day or you don't want to have a good day? Like, and wait for an answer. And if they say, well, I want to have a good day, then it's like, let's have a do-over. And it's like, just having the knowledge that you can do that. Like, that's a possibility. When I was growing up, that wasn't a possibility. You were just going to get screaming and chaos and just constant, problems all day long. That wasn't a possibility. It wasn't known to be an option.
So you like do-overs?
I like do-overs a lot. There's hope. There's grace.
And if I would have seen you right after you had thyroid cancer,
I'd had a totally different outcome.
I'm like, first thing is,
first of all, we'd probably have been married. First of all, we probably would have been married for a whole lot longer by now. You would have saved me a whole lot of pain.
Well, no, if I had seen you as a patient, we
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
be
true.
married.
We wouldn't be able to be married. So maybe
Yeah,
it's good that it happened.
I mean, it would have been so hard with you, but no, I don't.
Yeah, that's wrong. I should need to rewind that.
I don't date patients. But yeah, I'd been heartbroken probably. But, when someone comes to you after they've had thyroid cancer and your childhood,
Yeah.
the first thing is not Prozac. But if that's the only hammer you have, that's what you use. The first thing is, we have to get your thyroid right. It's calling the endocrinologist and go, low thyroid is associated with depression all the time.
And to be fair, I went in there demanding Prozac because I read about it. I went in there demanding it. I was going to walk out with Prozac, but
I still would have.
I wasn't given options.
I don't let my patients demand anything from me. Now, it's always
because I don't know. I'm not the doctor.
A collaboration, right? I never think of myself as someone's boss. But if you came in and you're demanding Prozac, I'm going to let's look at your brain because you didn't know about Wellbutrin.
So no, I know
or
you.
You didn't know about.
I know you. What you would have done is you would have said, because this is what you do. What I'm hearing you say is you're not feeling well. You're depressed. Let's figure out why you're depressed. That's what didn't happen. Because there's lots of things that cause depression.
So the easy thing is to give you a medicine. And don't hear that either one of us are opposed to medicine, because we're not. But to do it without looking, did he even get like a whole lab panel on you?
No, God, no.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Right? Because there's
no, I left that day with
1,000 causes of depression. And if you don't look, you don't know. Mm-hmm. If you don't look,
nobody said to me, oh, by the way, you're going through this problem with your thyroid cancer. You're going through this massive change in your biology. It's going to be better in a few months. Let's do something temporarily to bridge this, to get you through it. No one said that.
Like get to know you.
No one said that.
And get to know the traumas you experience, but also the successes that you've had, to evaluate the quality of your thinking, right? I mean, we always talk about these 4 circles. So reset, let's go back and talk about resetting your life. So all of us would agree 2020 was stressful.
And it was what it was.
And 2021, the pandemic is still with us and may be with us for half the year, longer. I mean, we just don't know.
And that's what I like about, past, present, future. The past was what it was. Right now, it is what it is. And I love that. It's like when you accept what's happening, it's like argue with reality, welcome to hell. But tomorrow is a blank canvas, right? We can plan something different for tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean it's always going to go according to our plans, but we get to have hope for tomorrow.
Well, we just watched, so during the pandemic, we watched a lot of movies. And we just watched Castaway again with our niece, Amelie. And Castaway with Tom Hanks. He was nominated for an Oscar. He was great in that movie. But at the end of the movie, he said, because he actually went through a suicidal period in the movie. At the end of the movie, he said, the sun is going to come up tomorrow, and I want to see what the tide is going to bring in. And I like that a lot. And reset, because you don't know what tomorrow will bring.
And since you don't know what it's going to bring, why not hope for the best? Why not plan for something good? Now, we all know we get, things happen, people get sick, stuff happens, but to plan for that just creates anxiety. So be in the present, but just know that tomorrow is a blank canvas. Have hope for tomorrow, because we have hope, tomorrow can be whatever we want it to be, and wait for tomorrow to happen before you start to be anxious about it.
We are going to talk about the one-page miracle when we come back. We've done it before, but as you think about resetting, it's just job one is know what you want.
And know why.
And then ask yourself, is your behavior getting you what you want? This is one of the most important brain exercises. I mean, yes, you can work crossword puzzles, but don't even get near the crossword puzzle until you've done the one-page miracle. So when we come back, we're going to dive into that. Stay with us. Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, it's a new year, and I have happiness in my life.
Me too.
But that's been true for our marriage, which
true.
is just amazing. That even if it doesn't work out the first time, it
reset
may not be a predictor of trouble, right? I mean, you wonder, is it you or
is it fit?
It's fit.
Sometimes it is you. I don't think we should tell people it's not you. Sometimes it is. I think being introspective is really important because sometimes it's important to do the work on yourself and figure out if you go into a relationship with trauma and you go into a relationship with, emotional hurt people, right? If you don't take the time to fix that, like even when I met you, I didn't trust that you were really a good guy because my lens of the world, the lens that I saw the world through was that of men who were not trustworthy. So how am I going to have a healthy relationship? So sometimes it is you. And it's important to know that. If you have an addiction problem or you are abusive, you need to get help because it's not accurate to say that it's not you.
Well, it wasn't me.
No, but I did. I mean, I'm happy. I'm proud to say that I
think
was introspective enough to know that I had
thinking about what you can do better.
Right.
That's
just taking responsibility.
Right.
Okay. Puts you in control.
Before we get to the one-page miracle, we have another review and a winner. I'm so excited. Meg Boh, MEGBOH 8913, and it's titled, "It's a Family Affair. I heard about you through a friend who watched a social media creator and her husband gets scans at your clinics." So that's Laura Cleary and Stephen Hilton. And the husband sounded like me with the low-grade depression. Since then, I've been obsessed with this podcast. I'm also a psych nurse, so the brain intrigues me anyways. It might also be the over-focused ADD I didn't realize I might have, LOL. Between the podcasts and the Healing ADD book, I understand my father, my nephew, my husband, and myself so much better. It's bittersweet because maybe if I had known now what I knew years ago, perhaps me and my nephew could have had a better relationship. But I can do better for me and my husband from here on out. I'm already applying little things like the ant killer that's benefiting our relationship. Thank you very much for thinking outside the box with mental health. It is very much needed. Hopefully, we can get to your clinic one day.
Aww.
So, Meg Bow 893, thank you so much. Go to
That's so cool.
brainwarriorswaypodcast.com. Leave us a message with your address, and we'll send you a copy of either Tana's new book or The End of Mental Illness. And pretty soon, I'm going to start telling you about my upcoming book called Your Brain is Always Listening. So, all right, reset. One of the most important exercises I've ever done, and it's so stinking simple, but you should do it. And January is just a perfect time to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I actually redo mine several times a year, but it's an exercise called the one-page miracle. And what you're doing is you're telling your brain what you want, and you're telling it in a balanced, thoughtful way. And it's called the one-page miracle because I don't want you to write a book. I want you to be succinct in what you want for your relationships, not what you don't want.
Right.
Write what you want with your spouse or your partner, with your children, with your family, with your friends. What do you want? So for each of those, write down what you want. So with us, and I always want the same thing: kind, caring, loving, supportive, passionate relationship. Always want that. Don't always feel like that. Get these rude thoughts that come into my head. And if I've slept and I'm not drinking, I don't let them out. You should not say everything you think. I have patients who think they get this
Every now
really
and then,
crazy thought.
We know what's in your head. It's very weird. It's funny, but it's weird. Because every now and then it gets out and the kids all look at you like, what?
You should not.
No.
You should filter.
Yes.
Filter your mind. Yeah. But I think that really helps our relationship.
It does.
Because we're clear on the goal.
And you know, I don't want to go off topic, but we're also, because we both do it, we're also it's really good for couples to do this, because knowing what each other's, ideal relationship is, what you want in your relationship, is really important, because we respect each other's boundaries. So we don't always do things the same way. I mean, we're actually pretty opposite. We're very, very different. He's yin, I'm yang. He's water, I'm fire. I mean, we're very different. But because we have so much love and respect for each other, and we understand what those goals are, we give each other that space, and we care.
Well, and one of my goals for you is for you to have an optimal life.
Right.
So what is it I can do that supports your optimal
and you
life?
Do that every day.
Because when you're happy, I'm so much happy. When you're not happy, I'm not that happy.
And you do that every day.
And so when the pandemic started and you got really anxious, and I'm like, oh, we should get a freezer.
Yeah. And I mean, you didn't let me turn the pool into a bunker like I wanted to, but at least the freezer was, that was a really great, as soon as you said that, I sort of relaxed. And I knew when you said, when this settles down, we'll go look at property. I wanted to buy a big piece of property. And I knew you were just telling me that to make me settle down, but it made me feel better. So you do those things.
So the first part is, what do you want in your relationships? Like with your kids, do you want them, become a robot and just mind you because you said that?
Scared of you?
Or do you want to raise respectful, responsible, competent people? And if you do, then they want to look into our programs with Jim and Charles Fay on love and logic. So important. But for me, I really want to be present for them because I grew up with a good dad that wasn't present. But I also want to be a positive force in their life. But we cannot raise competent children if we do everything for them.
No, I actually looked at my daughter the other day and I'm like, she won't even let me do stuff for her, which is so annoying to me. I sometimes want to do stuff for her, but then I realized I did that. I created that. When I stopped doing homework with her or for her, like pushing her to do her homework in second grade, I started that ball rolling. She's so independent. It's like, it's annoying sometimes. Like, because I sort of want her to like be connected to me more and, be more dependent on me, but she's not. And so,
which is ultimately what you want.
Sort of. It's bittersweet. I'm having empty nest syndrome. So now I have to redo my one-page miracle to figure out what that's going to look like, right? My reset.
Well, but that's part of it. It's so we talked about relationships. When we come back, we're going to talk about work and money and your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. These are all part of the one-page miracle. What'd you learn? Did you learn anything? We love it if you write it down, take a picture of it, post it on any of your social media sites, hashtag Brain Warriors Way podcast. I think we're getting close to 900 episodes, 11 million downloads.
That's so cool.
We're so grateful for all of you who listen. Reset. Now is the time. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We are talking about reset in the new year in 2021. It's always like challenging to like switch it from 2020. Any of you do that when you're writing checks? Got to stop writing 2020. And I am so excited about that. But we are talking about reset. We're talking about the one-page miracle. We went through relationships. Now we're going to go through what you want for the rest of your life. But before we do, I want to remind everybody that for the rest of January, if you actually post and tag 10 friends, you can get my book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child.
That you will sign it.
I will sign it and I will send you a copy. So you have to DM me or post it on one of our sites. You can post it at Brain Warriors Way podcast in the comment section, or the easiest thing to do is go to social media at Tana Amen or on Facebook. And if you post it and you tag 10 friends, I will sign a copy and send it to you. So you can take a screenshot of it and send it.
All right. Before we get back to the one-page miracle, we have another winner, a really wonderful review, Manjo, Manjo, 2020. Love. I've been listening to your podcast for almost 2 years now. We have a young family friend that was struggling with a possible brain injury, and they were abusing drugs and alcohol for years. I asked the parents to please check out your facility in Bellevue. They did, and their teenager had a brain scan, and you guys were able to pinpoint the issue. Now this teenage child is a young adult and doing very well. I wish more people chose your facility for brain health. Thank you for so much for your amazing brain health information.
That's awesome.
That's why we do what we do. So in the last episode, we began to talk about the one-page miracle and what it is. Write down what you want, not what you don't want. And it's often good. What do I want this year, the next 5 years, even look out the next 20 years?
Yeah.
It's what do you want? Because what you're doing is you're feeding your brain goals and clarity on how to behave and how to act.
And yeah, your subconscious doesn't have a sense of humor. So if you are constantly talking about what you don't want, if you're constantly being negative, your brain tries to make happen what you tell it. So just planting that seed and constantly looking at it and constantly, watering it, if you will, you're more likely to start to get those things.
And the first part is relationships. What do you want for your spouse or your partner? And if you don't have a spouse or a partner and you want one, that becomes the goal. What do you want with children if you have them? With your family. So last year I lost my dad. And, I wanted a connected relationship with him. In the last 5 years, we had that. But now I have my mom. And she went through grief and it was really hard for her. But I'm really clear. I want to have a close, loving, supportive, connected relationship, which means I need to show up. And the next part of the one-page miracle is work. What do you want? Even if you're retired, it's how are you going to contribute? How are you going to use your brain? What do you want for work? And I know you just are coming out of a really intense work season, right? With your book and your book launch and all of that. But once you're done with something, it's important to put something else there. I've treated too many athletes where their whole goal was that Olympic medal. And then they don't know what they want because their whole life had been headed one way. And it's so important to be making a difference or to learning or growing. And so what do you want at work?
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then it's what do you want for your money? And this is really important. A person's relationship with money. It matters because it's such a stressful relationship for so many people.
This is really important. When you're doing this one, most people don't even realize what their values are around money. If you're not getting what you want financially, if you're not like succeeding in the financial area, I did this exercise a long time ago and it was life-changing for me. Sometimes it's because your values don't match what you say you want. If that makes sense. So I used to make these financial goals and I wouldn't meet them. And I was always connecting it to money. And what I realized is I'm not that money motivated. I'm more purpose driven. So for me, it was hard to meet if I just tagged it with a dollar sign, it was hard. But if I put the why behind it, why do I want to do that? The money was easier if I actually was doing the thing that was making me happy, that was purposeful. So understanding your values, are they getting in the way of what you want? Because you don't really understand how you're wired is important.
And values like security and independence and value and fun are just critical. And so before you spend something, just go, well, does it fit the goals I have for my life? And those are the 3 words when you finish the one-page miracle and you look at it. We suggest you look at it a lot. So, some of my patients just look at it every day. And the question is, does it fit? If I say this to you, does it fit the goals I have? If I'm going to spend money on something, well, does it fit the goals I have for my financial health? And that way it helps you from not filing bankruptcy because you make impulsive spends that you can't afford, because people are always saying, oh, credit, we'll give you credit, we'll give you credit. Well, you're not then thinking about the future. And then the next part is, what do you want for your body, for your physical health? If you come from a family of people who can be obese, in my family, I don't want to be overweight. And that actually takes a fair amount of work for me. But, when I go to eat something, I'm like, well, does this fit the goals I have for my body? You're very disciplined about working out because for you want to be healthy.
Yeah, it's more of a health thing for me and a brain thing.
Right. But looking a certain way is important
Oh, for sure.
as well.
Looking
So
fit.
how do you want to be? And, if I wanted, and the goals you have, they have to be reasonable,
Mhm.
right? If my goal at 66 was to be center for the Los Angeles Lakers, it's like not happening, right? I mean, don't make goals
I know
that
I gave up on trying to be a Navy SEAL.
are irrational,
Yeah.
right?
Made me
Make
sad.
them fit your ability and your talent, but get stretch goals in there.
So this is interesting. So I love the one-page thing, and I love the question: is my behavior getting me what I want? But I do want to take it one step further for people who aren't getting what they want and they're not sure why. So in the relationship, when I was coaching someone at one time, like I had to write down in a little more detail: what is it that you want? What is it? What about that person? Like, what qualities in that person do you want? What do you want? Where do you want to live? Like with the house and the money. And I went through the whole thing. But then I had her turn it around at the end and go, why would that person be attracted to you? Why would that person want to be with you? Same with the job. Why would that employer want me? Why would those customers want to do business with me? And I had her go through and do this. And she took it personally. She got really upset at first. She was like, well, that's not very kind. And I'm like, well, I didn't actually say it was or wasn't kind. I just asked you why. And the reason she got upset is because she realized when she actually stopped for a minute, she wanted this thing. And we call that very positive thinking. It's like saying, I don't want weeds in my garden. I don't want weeds in my garden. And you're trying to do positive thinking, but you don't go out and pull the weeds. Okay, you got to go out and pull the weeds. So that part of this exercise is, why would that person want me? Why would that person be attracted to me? Why would that employer want me? Why would those customers want to do business with me? If you can't say they would because you've done the work and you're like a great partner, or you've got a great business, or you are a great employee, then ask yourself why. What are the things that they wouldn't be attracted to? Because that's the work you need to do. That's pulling the weeds. You can't just want the weeds gone and expect them to disappear.
Wow. So true. So what did you learn? Write it down. Post it on any of your social media sites. And the one-page miracle is just so simple. One-page miracle. What do I want? What am I doing to get what I want? Relationships, work, money, physical, emotional, spiritual health. When we come back, we're going to talk about emotional and spiritual health. Stay with us. Are you looking for ways to heal ADD, enhance your memory, conquer anxiety, depression, insomnia, autism, and other conditions? Hi, I'm Dr. Tana Amen. We provide courses based on what we've learned over 30 years of clinical practice. We also offer accredited courses geared to physicians, therapists, and students looking to get ahead. Are you ready to change your brain and change your life? Get started today. Welcome back. We're so happy to be with you as we talk about resetting your life for 2021. Sort of the cool thing about being human, every day is a new day. Mm-hmm. And you had talked earlier that the past is the past and the present is a gift. And we don't know about tomorrow, but we can certainly set tomorrow up to be better by what we do. The
decisions you make today make a difference for tomorrow.
And that's why I start every day with today is going to be a great day. I close every day with what went well today. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea is the present is the gift. If you can learn how to anchor yourself to the present.
And when you encounter challenges, one thing that helps me is like, what is the opportunity here? What can I learn? What can I teach others? What's the opportunity? That's something that really helps me.
So write down anything you've learned this week. We'd be so grateful. Post it at any of your social media sites. Leave us a comment, question, or review at brainwarriorswaypodcast.com, and we will enter you into a drawing to win a signed copy of Tana's new book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child, or The End of Mental Illness. You tell us which one. And we'd just be so grateful.
And we mentioned earlier that for the rest of January, anyone who tags 10 people and reaches out, takes a screenshot of it and tags us, will get a signed copy of the book. So,
yeah. It's awesome. So reset. We hope you've enjoyed this week. What we've talked about is really defining for yourself what you want in a balanced way. And the reason I created this with relationships first, work, money, physical, emotional, spiritual health, is people get burned out when they are unbalanced. But by working on those 4 major areas of your life, which correlate really nicely to the 4 circles that we always talk about: biology, so physical, health, psychology, your emotional health, spiritual, and social, which is relationships, work, and money. So it just really fits. What do you want for your emotional health? What do you want for your mind? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be less reactive? What is it you want? Do you want to be less afraid? Do you want to make better decisions? Which I think is really, that's where success starts. I keep threatening to write a book called All Success Starts Here, which is between your ears. But success really is based on a series of decisions you make over time, right? And so what do you want? So for me, I want to be happy. Happy is so underrated. People think it's selfish to be happy. But if you're around unhappy people, you realize that happiness is a form of altruism. When I say that, what comes to mind for you?
It's funny. I've done so much work around these areas. I love my life. I would love for 2021 to be, especially in our home, for the kids for this to sort of resolve itself so that the kids have less stress. But I think we've done a good, teaching them to have less stress is not, or taking away their stress is not my goal. Teaching them to manage stress is really what's more important. I do feel bad for the youth right now that they've lost so much, but I do think it's important to teach them, look, these things are going to happen in life. How are you going to handle it? So that's one of the big things for me with mental health is, how do we handle the things that come up? And I think that's why.
How do you train resilience?
Right. And that's why those questions I said at the beginning, what's the opportunity? What can I learn? What can I teach others? What can I be grateful for? Because there's almost always something that you can, if you can't feel grateful for it, you can learn something. What's the opportunity? How can you use it somehow?
Well, and then spiritual health. What do you want? And some people go, well, I don't believe in God. But that wasn't the question. Spiritual health is, why do you think you're on the planet? What is your deepest sense of meaning and purpose? And you can find that in your relationship with God. You can find it in your relationship with others. You can find it in meaningful work. But one of the things I've noticed is that when people don't have a sense of meaning and don't have a sense of purpose, they're much more likely to get depressed.
Well, and science actually shows, some of the studies show that people live longer when they have a sense of purpose beyond themselves, something bigger than themselves that they believe in. So it is an important thing for your mental and physical health to have something larger than yourself that you believe in. And one thing, every kid goes through this phase, I think, of, it's not fair. It's not fair. Life is not fair. And I used to tell our daughter this when she was little. She would always, it's not fair. I'm like, whoever told you life was going to be fair? Fair is a place with bad food and farm animals. It's not fair. No one promised you life was going to be fair. The better question is, why is the world a better place? Because you are allowed to breathe. That's the better question. What are you doing to make it better? Because that changes the question in your head. It sets you up to be more in control, to be more responsible, to be more empowered.
There's actually the father of stress psychology. His name's Hans Selye. Coined a term many, many years ago called egoistic altruism, which is we're altruistic, giving to others without expecting anything back because it's good for us.
Right, because it feels
actually
good.
lowers our stress. As you said, it helps us live longer. When it's all about you, then it quickly will lose its level of happiness and level of meaning.
Even small things, if like we're stuck inside the house, everybody's like, well, I can't go do volunteering. The kids even ask me, why do you spend so much time answering people's questions? Like, what are you getting out of that? Honestly, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to go on social media and see questions and help answer people's questions and just
so being
connect. Right.
Yeah. And ultimately, the spiritual circle is about connection.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I describe it in lectures, I'll often draw on a board a cross. And it's just a coincidence. It's a cross, but it's what's your relationship with God? What's your relationship with the planet? Because if the planet's not healthy, you're not going to be healthy. You need healthy water and healthy air, healthy food in order to thrive. What's also your relationship with the past? So for me, that's my grandfather, who I was so connected to. And what's your relationship with the future? And for me, that's my 5 grandbabies and my grandchildren.
I thought you didn't believe in coincidence.
In what?
Coincidence.
Why? Oh, anyways. But, those are sort of the major areas that help you be spiritually fit, which people don't talk about spiritual fitness. They talk about physical fitness. They rarely talk about mental fitness.
But they're connected.
Or relationship fitness. And they're all connected to how your brain works. Mm-hmm. So reset, create a 1-page miracle for yourself. Look at it every day and then ask yourself every day, is my behavior getting me what I want? I have a new book coming March 2nd called Your Brain is Always Listening. And there's a whole chapter on the addicted dragons and how to manage addictions. And I have a brand new 12-step program. And the 12 steps don't start with the typical 12-step, my life is out of control. It starts with, what do you want? And then step 2, well, is the addiction causing you to not what you want? That's how you know when your life is out of control.
Yeah, I think the why, we underestimate why. Mindset. So, we have there's so many self-help books on losing weight, getting healthy. I mean, it's like the shelves are loaded with them. But if you don't address mindset, if you don't address the why are you doing this? What is your purpose? It's very difficult to do the what if you can't connect to why. So the why needs to be addressed first.
Well, we are grateful. Part of our purpose is serving you and helping you have a better brain and a better life. That requires being a brain warrior, being armed, prepared, and aware to win the fight of your life. So we're grateful for you. What did you learn? Write it down, take a picture of it, post it on any of your social media sites, hashtag Brain Warriors Way podcast. We'll be grateful. You can also go to brainwarriorswaypodcast.com, leave us a comment, question, or review. We announced 3 winners this week, and you may win won a signed copy of either Tana's book, The Relentless Courage of a Scared Child, or my new book, The End of Mental Illness. Stay with us.
If you're enjoying the Brain Warriors Way podcast, please don't forget to subscribe so you'll always know when there's a new episode. And while you're at it, feel free to give us a review or 5-star rating, as that helps others find the podcast.
If you're interested in coming to Amen Clinics, use the code PODCAST10 to get a 10% discount on a full evaluation at amenclinics.com. For more information, give us a call at 855-978-1363.